Hello friends, today we'll see how to do the application load balancer in AWS. To do the demonstration of application load balancer, we need two instances running, and in each instance we have to create the web page. So let's move into the AWS environment and see how to create the application load balancer. Okay, first of all we have to create two instances. Here we will create the Linux instances and create two HTTP web pages. Okay, so select the Red Hat Enterprise Linux, then click on configure next, then click on add storage. Here you have to select the subnet. Okay, subnet should be in the two instances in the two different subnets. Okay, here I have selected 1A and assign public address is enabled. After that you have to click on next. Next, here the base default size is 10 GB, keep it as it is, then click on next. Then here you have to configure the security group. So create a new security group. I have named it as ELB, and give the access of SSH to anywhere and select the protocol. For web page we have to select the HTTP protocol and select source from anywhere. Then review and launch. Okay, everything is selected. So now you click on launch. Here you have to select the key pair. There is no existing key pair available, so I have to create a new key pair, and the key pair name is, I am keeping it as ELB, so it will be identical to identify. I have downloaded the key pair. Once it is downloaded, we have to click on launch the instance. Okay, you see now the instance is initiated. You click on services, then go to EC2. Under EC2 you can see how many instances are running. Here you see my instance is in pending state. So once it is successfully initiated, and after initialization the status check will be 2 by 2. Unless and until the status check is 2 by 2, we can't do any operation on the server. So wait for that. It should be in the status check stage should be 2 by 2. That our instance is creating. One instance is in initializing state, so we have to create another instance. So we have to create another instance to do the application elastic load balancer. So again you have to follow the same process, but here you have to select the different subnet. The BPC should be same, but the subnet should be different. I have selected it east 1B. Okay, we have to give the security group as existing, which is ELB already created. So click on launch. If you have any doubt on instance creating, then you can refer our previous video where I have shown you how to create the instances. After creating instance, the things will be new, so I'll be explaining each and everything. Here you see my instance is created. One is already 2 by 2 check, so I am creating the second one. Second one is also in the initializing state, so once it will be 2 by 2 check status, then we can use it. So I have to rename it. We have to give the name for identification purpose. Here I have it is named it as server 2. Okay, once the initializing will be done, we can use the two instances, and from the Linux server we have to install the HTTP package to run the Apache on the server, and through Apache we will launch our two websites. Okay, then you go to the puttigen, create. I have already downloaded the pm file, that is the public key. From puttigen you have to load the public key. Here you go to the downloads, you will find my pm file. So here you have to do all files, and you see elb pm file is there, which is a public key. Load. Okay, so save private key, you have to save the private key. So using this private key you have to access your Linux instances. Okay, I am keeping it on my desktop. elbppk, on the name of elbppk, I use that elbppk file while accessing the AWS instance. Still the second server is in initializing mode, so I have to till in between that time I have to use the server one and configure rest of the things. In Apache we have to configure, we have to install the HTTPD service. So you get your public ID from the screen, you are seeing that 54 is there. I am using the putty to connect to our server. I am using the private key which is already downloaded. Then okay, now here I am in the server console. Okay, so you have to use your user EC2 user. EC2 user is used to log in your AWS instance. Once EC2 user is logged in, then you have to switch to the root user by using the command sudo su. Okay, always you have to use the public IP address while accessing your EC2 instance. You see, EC2 user authenticating my public key and everything is okay. Then sudo su to switch into the root user mode. This is the super user. Then I have to install the HTTPD package. Yum update. No, I have to not do the yum update. Now I am doing it. So you have to do it. Yum install HTTPD -y. Why we are using y? To install the every packages automatically. If I will not keep y, then it will ask me the yes or no. So you see the HTTP package is installing. You see all the packages are completed. It is successfully completed. You are seeing the complete status is there. Once the installation is complete, you have to go to the directory, that HTML directory, so that you can put the index file. That HTML file you have to put inside this directory where www.html. All the web pages are kept here. You see there is no file is there. Once I list there is no file available, HTML file is there, so I have to create a HTML file. You see I am creating a HTML file named as index.html. Okay, go to the insert mode. Here you have to place your HTML codes. Now I am keep writing something for my system admin tutorial, that is for the server one. So hi everyone, this is system admin tutorial server one. To make the difference that it is switching to the different servers, to show it I have to name it as server 1 server 2 like this, but whenever in practical environment you have to keep the codes same in both the servers. Okay, once the index.html is created, you have to copy the httpd file, that config file which is already there in our documents. So you have to copy that file from our documents, which is some template files are there. From there you have to copy to our configuration location, that is inside the etc folder. See what is the file and how to configure it. This is the main file used while doing the Apache configuration. For a web page configuration, this is the main configuration file. So you have to follow all the steps whatever I am saying or demonstrating on the screen. Okay, you see, I have to copy the file, that the directory is user share doc, then httpd folder is there. Inside that one virtual host file is there, httpd slash. Then here you can see the httpd virtual host file. Okay, httpd-vhost.conf. That file I have to copy into my configuration directory, that is etc httpd conf.d file, d directory. Okay, httpd conf.d, and you have to name the configuration file. Here I am keeping it as webhost.conf. Okay, this is the whatever you can give, but the extension should be .conf, because Apache always identify the .conf file. Okay, I have copied into this directory. Now you see, I have to go into the directory. No, I am in the HTML directory, so I have to go to the configuration directory, that is I am giving the complete path etc httpd dot slash conf.d, and open the file webhost. You can keep the tab key so that it will automatically get the name. Here you see the configuration, total configuration file is there. So first you identify the virtual host, that container you see, first container. So inside that, in the document root, there is something different you can see. So I have to change into my configuration or HTML directory, that is HTML, where I have put my index.html file. Okay, I have changed it to the same, where www./html, this is the main directory. Then use httpd-t. This is used to get the syntax is okay or not. You can see the syntax is okay, and one error is there, that is for the second container, because I have not modified the second container, that the host name is, that directory is not resolving. That's why we are getting the dummy host tool is not found. Okay, but we are getting the syntax is okay. Now you have to restart the httpd service. Copy the public IP address and go to browser, paste. You see, successfully the server is working. Whatever the index HTML file is containing, it is displayed here. This is the way how the HTML works. Okay, here my first server is ready, that is one of the application server. So next move into the server 2. You can see the server 2 is also initialized and complete. The status check is 2 by 2. So now we can use the server 2 for our use. I have already generated the ppk file, so directly I have to open the putty. In the new session, I have to put the IP address, that is the public IP address from the server. I can get that. You see, I have copied the public IP address and paste over here in the host name. Then SSH authorization, you have to click on browse. Here you have to give the ppk file, that is the private key. Click on open, then go to the session. Now you have to click on open. It will give some security alert, you have to accept it. Then give your username ec2-user. The initial login username is ec2-user. Okay, now you have to go to the super user, that is root sudo su. You have to follow the same step whatever you have followed in the server 1. So you have to install the httpd package, yum install httpd-y, means automatically it will install without asking anything, that yes or no for any of the package. You can see it is installing. Once it is get installed, we have to follow all the steps whatever we have followed in the step 2 only. Okay, you see my directory is there where www.html, there is no files available. By listing I can see, so I have to create a index.html. Always you have to create .html file, so inside that we have to put our web page, or we have to put our HTML code. Now I am writing something inside that HTML file, index.html. Hi everyone, this is server 2. This is the server 2 of my system admin tutorial. Okay, save the file and do the syntax check. No, syntax, before doing the syntax check we have to do the configuration. So we have to copy the file from our default location, share document, that template files are there of every configuration file. You have to copy into the httpd etc httpd, then conf.d, then whatever the conf file you want to be, that is webhost.conf in my case. You can give it any name, but the extension should be .conf. Okay, it is successfully copied. Then go to the configuration directory, that is etc httpd/conf.d. Okay, okay, only ls, yes. Here you can see the webhost.conf is created. Now you edit the configuration file. I have to give the document directory. In the previous also I have changed the same thing. Here virtual host. Okay, you go to the document root. Here you have to give the your index.html file directory, that is where www.html. Now you save the file. Once it is saved, you have to check the syntax whether everything is okay or not. Before doing it, it is required to check the syntax. If you are having any error, that then you can modify it. Okay, next you restart the httpd service. It is successfully completed without any error. Next, copy the public IP address of server 2. You see, here the server 2 of system admin tutorial. Here server 1, here server 2. My two servers are working properly. These are the two Apache servers successfully done, and two Apache application is running over here. Once it is done, then we have to go further. Now we are accessing it through our IP address or whatever the DNS name is there from the individual server. Now we have to do it through the load balancer. Means if the traffic will come through our DNS, then it will go to the respective servers. I go to the load balancer. Here no load balancer is configured before, so I have to create a new load balancer. Click on create load balancer. Here you have to choose the application load balancer because we are using the application. So give the name of the load balancer. I am keeping it as ELB. The generic is there, elastic load balancer. For identification purpose I am keeping it as a ELB. Okay, and the scheme is internet facing because we have to access through the internet, so you have to select the internet facing. And here in the availability zone we have to select those availability zone of the instances through which we want the traffic. Okay, if we will not select the availability zone here, then the traffic will not move to that instance through the ELB. So whatever instances are configured through your application, or you want the traffic to move into that, you have to select that one. Then here you have to give the okay. I have selected both east 1 and east 1A and 1B. The subnet will be default. Then security group, I have to select the existing security group which I have created. Always give the same security group on which the instance is created, because you will otherwise you will get the problem to access, or the traffic will not move. Then give the target group name. I am giving it as ELB target group, and the target type is instance, because the traffic will move through the instance only. Here you see I have to register this. This is the main important thing. Unless and until you register the instance, the traffic will not move into that instance through the ELB. Okay, so you have to add to register that both the instances. I have registered both the instances, that is server 1 and server 2. You can see on the above it is already in the running state, and the zone is also 1A 1B, and now you can review it. Okay, everything is there. Health check threshold is 5 second, unhealthy threshold is 2 second, timeout is 5 second. Everything is in the review stage. Okay, the protocol we are using is HTTP, because we are using the application protocol. The application will run through the HTTP protocol. Then launch. Successfully we have created the ELB. Now you can see the ELB state is in provisioning state. Once the state is converted into the active, then we will go to the target group and see whether the target group is created successfully or not. It will take 4 to 5 minutes. Once the ELB is created successfully and the state changed to from provisioning to active state, then we can use the load balancer for our application or load balancing purpose. Wait for that. Still it is in provisioning state. It will take for 3 to 4 minutes. Within 5 minutes it will change to the active state. Okay. In the below you can see whatever the configuration you have done, which protocol you have used, and what is the name, and who are the listeners. And listener is the it is already there in my that website systemadmintutorial.com. one website is there where you can find the every theory and key points which will help you in exam also to clear the exam. Every key point, basic key points which is not told in the any of the video. And this is the first video I think where I have shown you to create the application or create the web page on Linux environment and deploy the load balancer on the Linux environment. Okay. Here you see the active state is there. The state change from provisioning to active. Now we have to go to the target group. On the target group we have to see whether the targets are there or not, and see whether the target group is created which we have created initially. You see the target group is also created with the port 80 and the name whatever I have given, that is ELB-TG, ELB target group, that is created by default. Okay, so click on that ELB-TG. You can see, go to the targets. In the target you will see the server 1 and server 2. Whatever the target will be there, that you can see. If you want to add the new server, then you have to register it from load balancer and then add into the target group. Unless and until you register and add into the target, the traffic will not move to that instance, new instance, from the ELB or load balancer. Okay, now you go to the load balancer and copy the DNS. Okay, because we have to access the through the DNS will automatically resolve into the IP of the instances, whatever the instances are registered. we are not will not use the IP address of the server. We will go through the DNS. From the load balancer, in the description you will find the DNS address. Here you see, here I have copied and running. Here you see that is system admin tutorial server 1 is coming. Okay, this is from the server 1. Once I refresh, you see the server 2 is also coming. Means the traffic is distributed between the two servers. Whatever the instances are running, the traffic is moving to the two servers and it is balancing the load. Okay, each time I refresh or the new traffic will come, it will distribute accordingly to the different servers. Okay, it is successfully completed in the Linux environment. This is the first video, I think. It is successfully completed. You can see both the servers are running, and from the ELB I able to get the traffic on both the servers. You can do it on Windows